Hey, beautiful people. So, welcome to this week's Whisper from the Divine. It is Wednesday, time to weave a whisper from the innate and the divine. Now, earlier on, I was feeling a presence within the doorway. Now, that's not unusual, and it's certainly not abnormal for me with the work that I weave into the world. However, when I do feel a presence, especially when it stands in the doorway, I pay attention because I'm very aware, especially if I'm not in between consultations or I'm not just about to start a consultation, that presence is wanting to grab my attention. It is almost saying, I'm here to have a conversation. And how beautiful and how powerful is that? Now, over the years, I've known them go from being able to just merge into the space to then standing within the doorway. And the reason being is so many of us are aware of doorways. Like subconsciously, you just, even now, as you sit and listen to this, depending where you are, you're going to be aware of the doorways within your space. That is kind of hardwired subconsciously. And it's like, if I feel them lingering within that space, like a doorway, hallway, by the front door, it's like you could be sitting in your lounge space, but you're aware of something outside of the room. Okay, and that's what it's about. That is them trying to grab your attention. It is so powerful. And we live in a time where people nowadays are so busy, busier than ever. Okay, moving through life at 100 miles an hour. They're more distracted than ever they have been. You know, there's just this distraction that is pulling people in every different way all at once, where spirit have to now work harder at grabbing your attention. So they linger in these hotspots. Doorways are like hotspots. They are literal living, breathing doorways and portals. Doors are portals within our space that spirit will linger to grab your attention. That is direct contact that's happening. So earlier on, when I felt that presence in the doorway, I paid attention. I'm like, okay, you know, quite often before I start a consultation, that's where I sense them. And then how they begin to come through, what they're showing me, the tone of what they're carrying is all information. You'll hear me say this time and time again. All information's information, and it's just about then understanding it. It's like yesterday I felt this lady appear in the doorway and she was carrying all these bags. That was a very powerful message for the lady I then went to sit with. You know, it's like messages within messages. All information's information. So earlier on, when I felt that presence standing in the doorway, and I can feel it now in real time, as I felt that presence standing in the doorway, I then start to listen. I start to pay attention. Something I've developed in myself over time. Having a good sense of self, and then being aware of my spatial awareness, and then feeling any change within that spatial awareness, like a glitch or just a ripple within the force. I think that's a lovely way of putting it. Like spatial awareness, you just feel this ripple within the force, something's shown up. So I felt it, and then as I kind of leaned into it, which is what you do, you just lean in and you're like asking, you know, who are you and why are you here? And I felt this female vibration, and then I started to really recognize who it was, and it's a teacher that comes through, and there was just this knowing in me, and it was beyond a feeling. It was like this pure knowing that they were wanting to talk about doors, okay, but from another perspective, and I just love that, you know, because all information is information, and this is what follows. This is what follows. Some doors don't swing open with ease. They creak, they resist, they ask something of you. And sometimes just standing in front of a new door is the most courageous thing you can do, because of what's behind it. What's in front of it. Change, growth, and often the unknown. Healing. And that choice to walk through it isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's a whisper in the middle of the night that says, you cannot stay here anymore. And you feel that in the blood and bone and the fibre of your being. You wake up in the middle of the night and you just know that you cannot stay here anymore. And crossing that threshold means shedding old skins, stories, coping mechanisms, parts of you that kept you safe, but now keep you stuck. And it's not all about having it all figured out. It's about having the courage. Having the courage to take one honest step towards yourself. And not all doors need keys. Some just need your presence. Your yes. Your breath. So if you're standing there, hand hovering and heart racing, know this: you're not broken, you're brave. And what waits on the other side might just be you. As always, sending you all so much love. Keep shining.